people's mindsets are determined by themselves. I know a lot of people like to blame it on other external factors. Oh, all these other people around me are unhappy, so I'm going to be unhappy. Or this bad thing happened to me. You let all these external factors control how you feel. But like the bottom line at the end of the day, how you feel is how you choose to feel. You have the final say, the veto power. You're either going to wake up and say, I want to have a great day today, or you're going to have a bad day. You have the choice. It's not anyone else's choice. And in that beautiful power, like, it's a beautiful responsibility you have because you have all the control. But with that control, you got to be responsible. So it can hurt yourself. If you see yourself slipping, you can only blame yourself, which really hurts. It's hard to come to terms with that sometimes. But once you come to terms with that, you can just grow so much. You
Yeah,
got
as
to
Don Shula said, he said, strong men blame themselves, weak men blame others. And regarding caring what other people think, I think it was Lao Tzu said, if you care what other people think, you will always be their prisoner. So you have to have your own motivations for why you do
yes.
what you do in life, and they got to be emotionally compelling ones. Otherwise, the negativity of other people, the doubters, the naysayers, people that tell you it's a stupid idea, it's not going to work, and then your own mindset, you sabotage yourself, and you don't take action. Then you actually end up moving away from the things you want instead of moving towards it.
Yeah. It's like don't let those people live rent free in your head, because instead of like all that energy you spend just thinking about them, you just spend it on thinking about yourself and improving yourself.
Like Trump lives rent free, and what's his name? George Conway, who's the husband of Kellyanne Conway, who used to work for Trump, ran his campaign. It's like if you go to his Twitter feed, it's just him every day. I mean, Trump's been out of office 2 years, and it's constantly him complaining about Trump or posting something about the investigation or the FBI or, I mean, the dude is just obsessed with him.
Yeah. It's kind of just like constantly blaming others for your problems. It's not, you're only going to have more problems if you do that.
Well, if you blame other people, then what happens is if it's not your fault that your life is the way it is, then guess what? You're not responsible for doing anything to fix it. And wherever you are in life, I mean, I heard this from Wayne Dyer. He says you can take comfort in that is the result of your best thinking. Wherever you are, it's your best thinking.
Or like I feel like a lot of people get like scared because they find out they have the responsibility of their lives. But I find it far more scarier if you didn't have that choice of your life. If someone else actually had all that influence on your life, that's far scarier than you're there because of your own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Actually gives you the control back.
I also think it's like way more attractive when someone is so sure about themselves and they don't care about what anybody else thinks. Because if you're sitting there always feeling like you need to meet a certain expectation that isn't yours, it's like, who are you then? You're not you, you know? You're living off of someone else's idea.
Yeah, you're just kind of like trying to put up an act in front of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just an actor not getting paid for it. Like,
yeah.
Stevie Wonder said you can't live your life according to other people's expectations. And it's true. You'll make yourself miserable because you're always going to have somebody that you're pissing off or somebody's not going to like how you're living or what you're doing for a living, where you live, who you date.
Yeah, like TV production and editing used to be frowned upon. Like if you told your parents like, "Oh, I'm going to be an editor." They're like, "You're not going to make money doing that. Like you're not going to find a job doing that." And instead of like being like, "Okay, I'm going to be a doctor like everybody else," you know? No, I'm going to stick to what I believe in and what I love and edit. You know?
You have a lot of clients in Asia, like Pakistan, India area, and they're really smart and they come from good families, and the parents all want them to become like engineers and doctors so they'll do well financially. But the guys that I'm coaching, it's like they hate those things and they don't want to do those things and they feel pressured into it. I've done phone sessions with guys over the years that are actually several years into a degree that they hate and they're only doing it because of their parents to please them, and they got something else that they would much rather do. And so because of the family they're growing up in, it's how I help them with those having those conversations with the parents and then explaining to them and convincing the parents that to let them do what it is that they want to do. And they have a plan to execute it. because it shortens your life. When you do something that you hate for a living, you're getting up every day just doing it for the money. You're trying to survive. You're just trying to get through the week to get to the weekend, and you have a little bit of peace. But as you get in your late 20s and your early 30s, that's when by that point most people, their dreams are dead. They've given up on them, and they've convinced themselves it's not in the cards, and so therefore they never really try. And then by the time they hit their 50s, their bodies are wrecked, and they're dropping dead, heart attacks or cancer, or some of them don't even live into their 60s. And then you got other people that take care of themselves and live into their 90s. I saw this yogi. He supposedly was like, I think, 136 years old. I think he's somewhere in India or something like that. I was like, damn. Imagine living that long. All the shit you would see.
Too much.
What do they say? Like you're working to live or something like that. Living
Instead
to
of
work.
living.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be working to live, not living to work.
Yeah.
But you should love what you do, because then you'll be great and exceptional at it.
And then it won't be working.
It'll be like playing. Because you'll work harder at something that feels like playing.
Going back to the mindset thing. So, the little history fact for the day: Harry S. Truman. All right, the buck stops here. Okay, no excuses. You take full responsibility and you solve the problem. Because if you keep blaming other people, you're never going to confront and fix the problem. It's just easy if
Like
you just
the guys
if you
in
just
the red
blame
pill
others.
community.
Yeah, if you just blame the other people, it's like, oh, like for example, the red pill community. If you say all women suck.
Modern women are terrible.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, they're never gonna get fixed. I'm just not gonna date women or like all that shit. You're never actually gonna get like, you're never gonna feel fulfilled or happy. You're just not like.
And you're gonna be angry. And
Like if you can't get with women, maybe it's not the women's fault. Maybe.
It's your fault.
Yeah. What's the common denominator here? You know.
if you keep attracting the same kind of people into your life,
You
Dad-
got to start questioning yourself. at that
exactly.
point.
You got to take personal responsibility. But if it's not your fault, then hey, it's just all modern women, or it's the government's fault that eventually I need a living wage instead of, hey, I can't make more money here. They won't give me a promotion, whatever. Then in my spare time, I'll go find somebody else to work for, and somebody that will pay me what I'm worth, or I'll start a business in my spare bedroom, and maybe it takes 10, 12 years before I can leave my job, but eventually I'll get there with enough time and repetition.
Become a stripper on the side.
All right.
Only
All
can.
right.
Tip for those days.
Where are you working at this weekend, Cal? Solid goals. Rachel's Steakhouse.
Cheetahs?
Cheetahs.
That's someplace? Yeah.
I do think though, like touching up on like what Chunky was saying, I think like social media has like a massive impact, and literally every single person knows this so much, but they still refuse to like look past that and not have the influence of TikTokers, celebrities, rappers, whatever it may
I
be.
just saw a stat that 1/3 of Gen Z wants, their goal is to be an influencer on social media. They
At
all want to
this
be like
point,
the Kardashians.
Especially now with like that TikTok is so popular and all these things that they want to do, like it's very like the influence is very, very impacting on a lot of younger people's lives, and they can't really get out of that. Like they get sucked into it, and even though they know, we tell them these type of things, and then even if they know that their mom or dad tells them, they just get stuck in it so much, and they just want to stick with it, and that just causes so much like negative influence in their lives and where that really takes them. So
And I also heard that like it's being so normalized now that like 10K followers is nothing, 20, 30, 40, like everyone has a bunch of followers, and it's kind of normalized now that like even if you had like 100,000 or whatever, everyone would look at it like, oh, that's nothing. You could have 1 million and it would be nothing. You're nobody.
Well, as
Like
far as
that-
the algorithm goes, the way that because everything's changed over the last few years, is that subscribers or followers really is just a data point.
Yeah.
Because now the content that you see, if you signed up for 100 accounts or 500 accounts, whatever, you were interested in that content. But you go there, like especially like with Instagram these days, it's becoming like TikTok, And then the first thing you see is somebody, doing donuts in a parking lot with somebody else hanging out of a car with a phone, and they go flying out or something. And then a crane collapses carrying a boat or something. Or you see some animal eating another animal, and then all of a sudden a really hot, girl, 20 something in a leotard, beautiful, hottest girl you've seen in a long time, dancing this amazing dance, and then it's a car crash or a semi running into 15 cars or something like that. It's just, and then next thing you know, a couple hours have gone by, and it's like,
You didn't
it
even
just,
realize.
and you're not even, you just came to see what your people are up to, and what, their kids pictures or whatever, or the people that you follow in the accounts, and you end up seeing all this crap that just takes you on a magic carpet ride, and boom, it's a time suck. It just sucks up your hours.
Modern
You
day
haven't even
Aladdin.
seen one of your friends' posts yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's all, I was like, who are all these people?
Yeah.
I think social media is definitely taking a huge precedence in the younger generation and what they are aspiring to do with their futures today. And it's going to be the demise of.
Well, they shouldn't look at it as being like an influencer, because you could be an attorney, you
Right.
could be a
Everyone's
guy.
an influencer now.
Well, it's,
I think that they
these
can.
really are just, you got to look at producing content, is that if you're some kind of an expert, then you're going to talk about what you're an expert at, or you're a
Right.
teacher at, or maybe you buy old cars at auction and then you restore them like new, and then you sell them when they're done. And then people that are into that will follow you, so you can record yourself working on the car, buying the car, selling the car, have videos of other cars that you've done. Or if you're an attorney, maybe you focus on a specific part of the law, where you can answer questions from people that just like what I do. And so if you're going to, maybe you bake cakes for a living. And so you're going to do videos about your cake baking, or your boutique and the clothes that you have there, with your models parading them around and making funny videos, or whatever with it. It's, the bottom line is, if you're producing content, you're encouraging people to either consume the wisdom, the information, maybe buy the products, whatever it happens to be. Or maybe you're an entertainer and you're doing, videos where you're just making people laugh, or telling a joke, or, you know, putting Mentos and Coca-Cola and putting the top on a bottle so it explodes, or whatever. But if you're producing content, you got to think of it in terms of advertising. So it's not so much being an influencer. It's, why should people tune in and see what you got to say or to talk about, or whatever.
That's why I was like specifying mostly on like negative impact and like negative influence on people, because the media is a powerful place. Like it's so much goes on in there every day that like we always look forward to, whether it's like a news outlet, whether it's just wanting to keep up with the day and day life, or whether it's just to go to buy a pair of sneakers. Like it's a very powerful place, and that's why like I specified on that. But if you're using it for the good or the better of what you want it to be, let's say you're following Corey Wayne, you're wanting to understand more about being a 3% man, and you want to just have a positive influence on your life. So that's why I was mostly specifying on just a negative output on it. But there's also a ton of positives that if you really want your life to be successful and everything, you're gonna follow all the right things, and that's just gonna like determine who you are in the end. So I think that's a good thing as well.
But what I'm trying to figure out is, why is the algorithm pushing things onto their viewers that
Money.
have nothing to
Because
do?
you stay
Money and
watching the
views.
app, and then you'll see more ads.
Correct, but
So
if
it
that's
keeps you, even though it's showing you things that you didn't come there for, it keeps your attention longer than you normally would be there.
But is
Like
that
literally, it's
happening
like kind of
only here in
hypnotizing.
America?
What's that?
Is that happening only here in America?
Everywhere.
Like for TikTok,
It's
do we
everywhere.
know what like is being viewed in TikTok, like on their feed? Like,
Well,
are they
to
getting
me,
educational?
well, it's different for everybody, because the AI, what's his name? Yuval Harari, the Klaus Schwab's right hand person. He says the AI will know you better than you know yourself, and so based on what because the other thing that a lot of these apps do is that we'll turn the camera on, and then so it can watch your face, and it can see what you're like, wow, so it understands what you're feeling and what you're reacting to, so it knows. But that's why when it's also listening to you, So when you say things, or you talk about a certain person, or you talk about a cat video, then you start seeing cat videos, or you start seeing that person you were talking about in your feed. And so it's listening to you and it's watching you in
So
some
creepy.
cases. And so it knows what to serve you to put you in that trance-like state. So you stay there on the app and you keep scrolling. You're a scroll
You
monkey.
just get lost.
So
in
what
it.
happens when you
And then
cover
you're like,
your
I
camera?
gotta pee, but just one more video.
Whatever. What?
Next thing you know, your
yeah.
bladder's about to bust like 40 minutes later. I gotta put this damn thing down and go pee. You know?
Even I think even if you do cover the camera, it's already seen enough. It
Yeah.
could see 5 seconds of you scrolling through 10 videos already, and it's just gonna like see what you like and what you don't like. Especially even if you have your camera covered the whole time and but you're still clicking that like button, it's still seeing how much you're liking and everything. And at the end of the day, it's like all money too. Whatever gets the views
Right.
is what's gonna give them money.
They monetize
Because if
on
you
that.
put 10 people in a room and you ask them how many of you guys watch the news, like 2 of them are probably gonna raise their hands. And you ask them, oh, how many of you guys saw that funny trend that's going on right now or TikTok dance? All of them are gonna raise their hands, because they keep up with what's trending. So that's just
Erica, do you remember what you searched up on September the 17th of 2014?
No, but I'm sure my iPhone does.
Yeah, the AI does. The AI does.
But I'm pretty sure I also have that turned off.
All apps are following your location as
No, they're
well.
not.
Well,
It
that-
always says like
Yeah.
ask app to not do it. They're
There's-
still doing
there's
it.
supposedly a new update on the iPhone that's coming up, or I think the update already happened. But they're saying it was on Instagram as well, and I saw it. They were saying that when you post your geotag, like if let's say you post a story and you're in the Bahamas, you post it and it could actually pinpoint the exact location where you are, and like they could follow it instead of it being like a general location. It's actually pinpointing, and it's like super scary that
Your
like
location services.
your location
Yeah,
service.
but if you
like,
turn that off on your iPhone, which everyone should have that turned
but
off.
not a lot of people know that.
If you have it turned on for your weather app, the other thing you see is that these apps are
There's
part of
the
their
little
terms of
arrow.
service says, hey, we can share this location data with other apps.
Yeah.
And if you ever
they
see
get
the little
paid.
arrow on the top of your phone, that means that there is an app that is tracking
Locating,
you.
yeah,
That's not
tracking.
even true though, because it doesn't have to show the arrow. It's the same thing when the camera goes on; they don't have to notify you.
Right. But
The
That
little
is
light
one of
doesn't
the
come
ways.
on.
The green light or the red light.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes you don't even know what it is, and it's just on.
there's the orange one also.
I've had that happen.
I didn't know so many people were interested in seeing me shit, but okay.
Yeah.
That happened on my laptop once. It was just sitting there just like that, and it was green.
So someone was
It
watching
just
you.
turned on.
The light was green. I was
Did
like,
you have something over your camera?
no.
Someone was
Damn.
watching
I
you
got
through it.
so scared, and I just went.
Somebody was watching you.
Someone logged in.
Probably on the black web, but whatever.
Doing God knows what.
Caroline,
I love how this
Caroline and her
topic just shifted
toys are on
completely.
the internet.
From
somewhere.
mindset to like, oh,
Yeah,
we're all-
mindset to AI.
No, this
and-
is